thunder, lightning, or in rain.
When the hurly-burly is done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Haddock call.
Anon.
There is foul, and foul
There
is
is
fair.
foul,
Hover
and
through
fair
the
is
fog
foul,
and
And
filthy
foul
air.
is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald from the Western Isles with kerns and gallow glasses is supplied. But brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoke with bloody execution carved out a passage till he faced the slave, which never shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled their strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gaseous cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by this most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Macbeth, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, a point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more this Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Arant thee witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wine.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the others. Though his bulk cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have here.
Show me.
Show me. Here I have a pilot's thumb. Wrecked as homeward he did come.
A drum. A drum. Macbeth doth come.
Ah,
The weird sisters hand in hand
coasters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace. The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How farthest call to Forres? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me. By each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis! All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Oh, good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do seem so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction, of noble having and of royal hope that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time, and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail! Hail!
Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So, all hail Macbeth and Banquo!
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I'm Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles in it, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. What seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here that we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Went not so.
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy messages in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee the Thane of Cawdor, in which edition? Hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. For treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those who gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you to the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having weighed it, we'll speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owned as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, than more than all can pay.
The service and loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties. And our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hath no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so, let me embrace thee, and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers.
Hail,
Prince of Cumberland!
From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make glad the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, Hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dews of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. For thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise thee with the valor of my tongue, all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall. You, murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
Dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet does approve by his loved masonry. At the heavens' breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle. Where they most breed and haunt, I have observed, the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we thank as love.
All our service, in every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holpen to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight. Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence, catch with his Circe's success, if but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all, here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. In these cases, we still have judgment here, which being taught returns to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commands the ingredients of the poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust, First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against the murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. In pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. The tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other side. How now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not. He has.
We will proceed no further in this business. The king hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions of all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him? His two chamberlains will I, with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume. When, in swinish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metals should produce nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers, that they had done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And it goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Here. Takes my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that, too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me. And yet, I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? Well, the king's abed. He has been an unusual pleasure and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal. By the name of most kind hostess. All's well and shut up in measureless content. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
Oh, I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you will cleave to my consent, Quintius, it shall make honor for you.
And so I lose none in seeking to augment it. But still keeping my bosom franchised and allegiance clear, I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go, bid my mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this the dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee still, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. My mind is made the fool of the other senses. What else worth all the rest? I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood which were not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear the very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. Go, and it is done. Bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven. Me to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sterns good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? Oh!
I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt, and not the deed, confounds us. I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done't. Oh, my husband.
I've done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended.
Aye?
Hark. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Bain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Therefore could not I pronounce amen. I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
I thought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why? Did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I've done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infernal purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If you do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal. It must seem their guilt.
What is that knocking? Oh, how is't when every noise appalls me? Oh, what hands are here? Oh, they pluck out mine eyes. With all great Neptune's ocean, wash this blood clean from my hand. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Oh, I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. More knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
a knocking indeed! If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should grow old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Oh, a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in, farmer. Have napkins now about you. Here you may sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Ooh, Faith, an equivocator, who could swear in both scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock! Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of the French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may heat up your iron. Knock, knock, never a quiet. What are you? Whoa, this place is too cold for hell. I'll double porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon. I pray you remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he took off my legs sometimes, made a shift to cast him.
Thy master stirring. Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in, physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service. Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
Night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, lamentings heard in the air, and strange screams of death, and prophesyings with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events. Newly hatched, in a woeful time, the obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake. My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror! Horror! Horror!
Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee. What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke out the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is to say, the life?
Mean you his majesty? Do not bid me speak, see and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder. Treason. Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look upon death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Banquo, Malcolm, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
Gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Banquo. Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas, what? In our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I'd lived a blessed time. For From this moment, there's nothing serious in mortality. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. Spring the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh. By whom? Those of his own chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces raw badged with blood. And so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Be wise, amazed, furious, temperate, loyal, neutral in a moment, no man. The expedition of my violent love did outrun the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His gashed tabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me hence.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here? Where our fate hidden in augured hole may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
So do I.
So, let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune may keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shotteth not yet lighted. And our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowing.
Good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is it night's predominance or the day's shame that darkness does the face of the earth entomb, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, minions of their race, turned wild in their nature, broke their stalls, flung out contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir? Now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still. Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He's named already. Gone to Scone to be invested.
Were you to Scone?
No, cousin. Out to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. Lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, Father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad, and friends of foes.
Hail to the king!
Thou hast it now, King Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised. And I fear thou hast played most foully for it. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, an old thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I request your presence.
And let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We had else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's business. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my good lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night. for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Hie to horse, adieu. A ghost Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we'll keep ourself till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Tend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they put a fruitless crown, and placed a barren scepter in my gripe, thence to be wrenched with unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Who's there? Now go to the door. Stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was so, please, your highness.
Well, then now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he that in the time past who kept you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you at our last conference.
You made it known to us.
I did so and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your natures that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
In the catalogue ye go for men as hounds, greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the hunter, each according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file not in the worst rank of manhood, say it. And I'll put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We will, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives spirits shine through you, I will, within this hour at most, advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. To leave no rubs, no botches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, or I'll be with you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll be with you straight. Bide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Naught's had, all's spent where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We've scotched the snake, not killed it. You close and be yourself, whiles our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both worlds suffer ere we will eat our meal in fear, sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams which shake us nightly. Better be with the dead than we to gain our peace have sent to peace, that on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. So I pray be you. Let your remembrance be toward Banquo. Give him eminence, both with eye and tongue, and safe the while. We must lave our fortunes in these flattering streams, and make our faces visage to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dearest wife. Thou knowest, Banquo and his flayance lives.
But in them, nature's copy is not etern.
There's comfort yet. If they are assailable, then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day with thy bloody and invisible hand. Cancel and tear to pieces that great bond that keeps me pale. Light thickens. The crow makes wing to the rooky wood. good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words. Hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join us?
Macbeth. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurns our lady traveler apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there. Ho! Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are at the court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, but he does usually. So all men do from hence to the palace gate, make it their walk.
Light! A light!
Is he?
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
With treachery! Flag! Lance! Lance! Flag!
There's but one down. The sun is fled. We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You all know your own degrees. Sit down.
Thanks to your highness.
First and last, a hearty welcome. Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. When my heart speaks, they are welcome.
Come, silly night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, of pitiful day. And with thy bloody and invisible hand, console and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens and the crow makes wing to the rocky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Come, silly night.
They encounter thee with their thanks. Both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon, we'll drink a measure, the table round. There's blood upon my face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
His throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like, for Fleance, if thou didst it, thou the non-parial.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. Else had I been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock. Now I'm bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe?
Aye, my lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes in his head. The least a death to nature.
There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature, that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold, which is not often vouched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence, the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and good health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, ride. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will be well again. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. You, man.
Try the bold one that dare look upon that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. These flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Biddy, look. See there, behold, I'll say you. What care I thou canst nod? Speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, a monument shall be the maws of kites.
It's quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. The time has been when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. Now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
They do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Give me some wine, then I'll sit down. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend, Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here, to him and all we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties in the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers. That is a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery. Hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, still?
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when I think you can behold such sights. Keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, while mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health. Tend to His Majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How say you that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
Not yet. I will send. This bodes ill. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow. At times I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go on. Strange things I have in head which will to hand, which must be acted. Here they may be scant.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young, indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw, toad, that under cold stone days and nights has weltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double toil and trouble.
Double,
double,
toil and trouble.
Cauldron bubble.
Burn, cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting. Lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, in the hell broth boil and bubble.
Double, double toil and trouble.
Toil and trouble, fire and burn and
Fire,
cauldron
burn,
bubble.
cauldron bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf. Witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the rabid salt sea shark. Root of hemlock, digged in the dark. Liver of blaspheming Jew. Gall of goat, and slips of you slivered in the moon's eclipse. Nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Finger of birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is thick and good. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open, locks! Whoever knocks!
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is to do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
We'll answer.
Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that had eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that's sweating from the murderer's gibbet. Throw into the flame. Come high or low, thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fears aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? Yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great burning wood to high Dunsinane hills shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earth-bound root? Sweet Podimits, good. Rebellious dead rise never, till wood of Burnham rise. Our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. But yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know it. Why smokes that cauldron? What noise is this?
Show!
Show! Show!
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down, thy crown to sear mine eyeballs. Thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. Third is like the former. Filthy hags! Why do you show me this? A fourth, start eyes. What? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more! And yet an eighth appears, who bears a glass that shows me many more. Some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites and show the best of our delights, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did he his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone. Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there. Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride. Damned all those that trust in them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. For from this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Give to the edge of the sword to his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. No more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
My former speeches do but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say that things have been strangely born. For from broad words, and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
That princely Malcolm, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff has gone to pray the holy king, upon his aid to wake Northumberland and the warlike seaward, that by the help of these, with God above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets, bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now.
I and some holy angel fly to the court of England and deliver his message ere he come. That a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country, under the hand of Macbeth, cursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
What had he done that he should fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
My dearest coz, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. I take my leave of you. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I'm so much a fool should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace, for I would weep.
Sira, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird. Thou'dst never fear the net, nor the lime, the pitfall, nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds they're not set for. My father's not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. Now, how wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy meat 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy 'em to sell again.
Thou speaks with all thy wit, and yet in faith, with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, but there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang them up.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk'st.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you would take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage, to do less to or fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now. I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable. To do good, sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where's your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared filth.
What? You egg? Young fry of treachery?
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Murder! Let us seek out some desolate shade and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfallen birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dole.
What I believe I'll wail, what no believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of me through him and wisdom, to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is, and that which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul should wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed. Bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basis sure, since goodness will not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich East to boot.
Be comforted. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice, so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But better Macbeth than such an one to reign. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland.
If such an one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accused and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee oftener upon her knees than on her feet died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatst upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my thoughts wiped the black scruples, and reconciled myself to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains has sought to win me, and modest wisdom plucks me from overcredulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, for strangers to my nature. My first false speaking was this upon myself: what I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old seaward with 10,000 warlike men already to point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why so silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once 'tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon.
See who comes hither. My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither. Stands Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself, cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing has once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air, made, not marked, where violence seems a modern ecstasy. The dead men's knell is there scarce asked for who, and men expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or they sicken.
Our relation. Too nice, yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant hath not battered at their peace?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Come, be not niggard of your speech. How goest?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, the which I believe was witness the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men. An older and better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that will be howled at in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause? Or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that yet e'er they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babe savagely slaughtered, to relate the manner whereon the quarry of those murdered deer to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven! What man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed, too?
Be comforted. Let's make us medicine of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hell, Kate! All? What? All my pretty chickens and their dam, one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were, that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff. They were all struck for thee. Not that I am. Not for their own demerits, but for mine, fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length, set him. If he escape, and heaven forgive him too.
This time goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their armaments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long, never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field. I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon't, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature. To receive the benefit of sleep, and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has a light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
'Tis an accustomed action with her to seem thus, washing her hands. I've known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her, to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out! Damn spot out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Oh! Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and afeard. What need we fear? Who knows it? When none can call our power to account. Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? But will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this starting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God that it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Oh, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be
done. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God, forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burn in them. Near Burning Wood shall we meet them. That way are they coming.
Who knows if Donalbain be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, and many unrough youths that even now do protest their thirst of manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some call him mad, and others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Well, make we our march, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed, to dew the sovereign flower and drown the weed. Make we our march, to Vernon! To Vernon!
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane, I cannot take with fear. Watch the boy, Malcolm. Was she not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee, black, thou cream-faced loon, where got'st thou that goose look?
There are 10,000.
Geese, villain!
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face, and overred thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul! Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear! What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold Satan, I say! This push will cheer me ever, or deceit me now. I've lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sear. The yellow leaf, that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath, which the poor soul would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
What's your grace's pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me mine armor.
'Tis not needed
I'll
yet.
put it on. Send out more horses. Scare the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. How does your patient, Doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow? Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Satan, come, put mine armor on. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or purgative drug could scour these English hence? Hearest thou them?
Aye, my good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Friends, I hope the days are near at hand the chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing. What wood is this before us? The wood of Vernon.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the number of our host and make discovery earn report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be gone, both more and less have given him the revolt, and nothing serves with him but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe.
They met me in the day of success. They have more in them than mortal knowledge. They made themselves air into which they vanished. These weird sisters saluted me. Hail, King that shalt be. What greatness is promised thee? What greatness is promised? What greatness?
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been when my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I've supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once stop me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word tomorrow. And tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, as I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Vernon, and anon methought the trees began to move.
Slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Among this 3 mile may you see it coming. I say a moving grove.
Speaks false. Upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane. Now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm it out! If this which here vouches does appear, there is no flying hence, nor tearing here. I begin to grow weary of the sun, and begin to wish the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow, wind, come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
Now near enough. Your levy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduffin, we shall take upon us what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Let all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
Tied me to a stake, I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou shalt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, no more fearful.
Thou liest, thou poor tyrant! With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laughed to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face! If thou be slain and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him, fortune. More I beg not.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die upon my own sword, whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them?
Turn, hellhound, turn!
All men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out!
Thou losest labor! As easy mayst thou the entrenched air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I lead a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm.
And let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. Be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward!
And live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are painted upon a pole, and under it here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet will I try the last. For my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff! Damn be him that first cries, halt!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he is dead.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll pay for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, so God be with him. But here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free! Free! I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl. Let's speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire, aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland! We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, as would be planted newly with the time, as calling forth our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. What's more and needful else that calls upon us? By the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.